Yeah. Yeah. Red and black on my back, that's the renegade pride. BC in the building, whole city on the rise. Hardwood, ready crowd, rumble inside. We don't play games, nah, we ride or die. Step on the court, feel the energy surge. Renegades ballin', watch the momentum emerge. Fast break fury, we attack, no doubt. Opponents wanna run, but there's no time out. Yeah, Bakersfield born, we grind in the heat. Putting that work till the mission complete. Student athlete, hustle that classroom and court. Brains and buckets, yeah, we built for the sport. Red and black on my back, that's the renegade pride. BC in the building, whole city on the rise. Hardwood, ready crowd, rumble inside. We don't play games, nah, we ride or die. Baseline dripping, let the sneakers talk, yeah. Coach got a plan, whole squad lock, yeah. Pick and roll dreams, crowd jump when we pop. 3-point rain, net splash, never stop. We represent the valley, represent the team. Renegade vibe pumping through the bloodstream. At Gill, Bishop Court, you feel that roar. This is BC, we want more and more. From the warm-ups to the last buzzer ring. Renegades fight hard for that champion thing. This is our moment, this is our time. Bakersfield College, yeah, we redefine. Yeah, red and black on my back, that's the renegade pride. BC in the building, whole city on the rise. Hardwood, ready crowd, rumble inside. We don't play games, nah, we ride or die. Nah, we ride or die, yeah. Nah, we ride or die, yeah. We don't play games, nah, we ride or die.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Tolentino to the point.
High screen and roll set up for the Renegades. Niederbaumer with the bucket at the buzzer. So, Gio, today I had a chance to talk to our other director in Julian Wilson. He's over there working Kern High Network Sports tonight. So it's an honor to share the air with you tonight in the Renegade Athletic Complex.
Last time we shared air was the Golden West football game back on September 20th.
All right, when Julian was flying all over the country. All right, Renegades control the possession. High screen for Niederbaumer. Tolentino gets it inside, and it's kicked over to the baseline, and another one.
4-3-3-3.
Laylene Araniva. One of the things that we saw last week against Reedley, the fouls caught up to us, and we ended up giving up some shots at the line that cost us the game. So you want to encourage those Renegade women to defend without fouling as they get the rebound. And now looking it up, and now they go to Brownlee, and Brownlee has a step, and she's going to make it count. So Niederbaumer with the pass to Brownlee, and you see Diamond getting it done early there on the 15-footer by Callie Madugal.
3 from Tolentino. 3-3-3.
Bang, bang, bang. Tolentino from deep. And now you got a high screen and roll for Niederbaumer, who's attacking. The left-hand layup is going to be off. That's the shot that you want. And now you got Tolentino with the steal, and she's going to take it herself to make it count. So Danica Tolentino, she's a freshman out of Ontario Christian High School. Nice job on the boards by Alexia Ramirez. Ramirez is doing a fantastic job on the boards for the Renegades. She's out of Gunnison High School in Gunnison, Colorado. Ramirez with the nice job attacking the basket. 20 years ago, he was on one of my 2005-2006 teams, and I tell you, he was one of the strongest running backs in the weight room. And now he's a guy that's serving our community. But right now, we got Brownlee serving left-hand finishes for the Renegades. Fortunate. Matthews running the show from point. Gets it over to Ramirez. Ramirez inside to Brownlee. Little contact, and she plays through it. And Coach Grant Bingham is like, where's the call? Because that definitely was some contact on the wing for the Vaqueros. Nice entry pass inside. Oh, and that's a nice rebound by Rivers.
Oh, nice block by beautiful Vasquez.
Beautiful defense by beautiful Vasquez. Nice bounce pass to Brownlee. Brownlee with the finish. Gotta love Vasquez doing it all on both ends of the floor. Basketball team, and now that leads to numbers.
Danica with the pop. Nope.
Renegades with numbers. Tolentino with the deep three, and guess who gets the rebound? Of course she does. Ramirez, and that's another one for Alexia Ramirez. She got me up out of my seat, and another turnover.
Yes.
We've seen, let alone the other turnovers.
We talk about the Vaqueros. Renegades should not do the same, too. They need to be careful of those turnovers, giving them that free possession.
Absolutely. Nice move.
Lean.
Amazing shot.
10-point deficit to the Vaqueros. 49-39, Bakersfield.
Deep three for the Vaqueros, and that's going to be rebounded by Araneva. Nice pressure defense by the Vaqueros, and now we get it to Tolentino. She's attacking, and that's going to be a nice finger roll by Danica as the Vaqueros get one more shot in with 1.3 seconds left, and that is it. Our players of the game are going to be Alexia Ramirez and Diamond Brownlee dominating on the glass, and that is going to be a win for the Bakersfield College women's basketball team.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
And he's got 17, so he's shooting well from downtown. And Zach Garnett coming right out of the half, and he drains a three, and it looks like they called that a two by Elijah Wade. Now they're down low to Henderson. Henderson backing in Reed. Back out to Chavez. Back to Henderson again, down under the bucket. Throws that one just up and in. And Zykeer Henderson just has the ability. He doesn't even have to use the backboard. It's that soft touch when you're making contact that he just has a command over. Yes. Henderson had a hand on it. Chavez wrangled it. Back outside to Famuso. Chavez once again. Muscle memory does its job, and he drains the three. Garnett with good defense on Jaden Merchant. Merchant once again driving to the basket. And a block. Zach Garnett with the long reach. Chavez once again. And he gets that one to go. Gustavus Chavez getting hot, Julian Wilson.
I tell you what, that is his shot, and he's made it plain.
And gets that one to go. Davis being shut down, but manages to go high off the glass, being guarded heavily by Blake Jones. Condors have gone a little cold now from beyond the arc. That one out to Davis on the perimeter, and he gets that one to rattle in and down. And Damari Davis now with 17 points. They're the only ones really in any kind of foul trouble right now for the Condors. Tyler with a nice rebound. Henderson trying to come over the top underneath the basket and lays that one up and in. He was behind the backboard, reached forward and put that one up and over the rim for the score. And now he's Damari Davis now down at the line. Davis with 20 points in the game, the second leading scorer for the Renegades. Rebound by Henderson, puts it back on the deck and back and in. And Henderson now 39 points. So the clock counting down. BC still with a commanding lead. And the quick score by Anoki. And BC should run the clock out now as the game clock is off. And the Renegades going to come away and improve to 7-6 on the season. And that's going to do it. Final score for today's game. BC got to 100, and it's
We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades, we put on a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want it with us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our town. Ain't no team that we fear, we put in work. We taking off like a rocket, lifting up the earth. There's no other team like us. We taking over, Renegades. Rise up, Renegades. No time to waste. We bring the heat and dry the flames. Game's on Tuesday. Renegades. Renegades.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegade, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegade, renegade. We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades, we put on a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want it with us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegade. Renegade. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our town. Ain't no team that we fear, we put in work. We taking off like a rocket, lifting up the earth. There's no other team like us. We taking over, renegades. Rise up. Renegades. No time to waste. We bring the heat and dry the flames. Game's on Tuesday. Renegades. Renegades.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades, renegades. We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades, we put on a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want it with us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Renegade. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our town. Ain't no team that we fear, we put in work. We taking off like a rocket, lifting up the earth. There's no other team like us. We taking over, renegades. Rise up, renegades. No time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. Game's on Tuesday. Renegades. Renegades.
Welcome to Bakersfield College Renegades Baseball. Coming to you from Bakersfield College, home of the Bakersfield College Renegades. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tom Myers, joined by the Dr. Julian Wilson. On camera, John Hare doing the duties tonight, and Gio General Al. Great to have everybody here. A big win for the Renegades last night, holding off Moorpark with a 12-10 win, and the Renegades looking to pick up another one here tonight. Same starting lineup with the exception of Trice Bainhoward in at catcher for the Renegades tonight. But really looking forward to a fun one, Julian. Of course, we're at the top of the press box tonight. We were in the press box last night. It's a little chilly, but we are – I got a blanket wrapped around me, gloves, and a winter hat. Like I'm prepared for like 20-degree snow.
I tell you what, if you could see Tom right now, you'd be in admiration. He is going to be warm tonight for sure.
I am not going to freeze while calling a baseball game in January of all times.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to a fun one tonight. Checked out the roster for Moorpark for the Raiders, and they're going to go with the same starting lineup as yesterday. No changes in their lineup. You know, we saw a lot of improvement last night by the Raiders throughout the game. They were a little bit cold, only one run through the first 5 innings, and then really started to light up the scoreboard and caught up with the Renegades.
Yeah, they hung in there, and that's baseball. And as much baseball as we have seen, we know that happens. Somebody could get a big lead. You know that lead is not safe most of the time.
Yeah, the batting average for the Renegades yesterday, 406. On-base percentage was 512. And their slugging percentage was 656. Only 2 strikeouts for the Renegades all night long. Conversely, 10 strikeouts for Moorpark. And honestly, a 206 batting average as the Renegades kind of held them off. Most of the damage was self-inflicted by BC as they walked and hit batters, 17 guys,
wow.
A free pass to first base. So we'll see how the Renegades starting pitching does today on the mound. Jaden Hernandez and Buddy Onosco, the center fielder, will lead off. Pitch in there for a strike, and the count is 0-1. Onosko, 5 at-bats yesterday with 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Only struck out once, so really had a good game yesterday as the leadoff hitter. Ball's outside, the count's 1-1. A big thanks to Rob Chavez, who joined me yesterday on the broadcast. Just showed up out of the blue and gave us a little bit of his expertise and a little bit of history of his time up here at Bakersfield College. 1-2 the count to Onosko. Jaden Hernandez in his first appearance of the season for the Renegades. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's hit over to shortstop. Gathered up by Santiago Blanco. And over to Liam O'Reilly for the first out of the inning. And Blanco had his problems yesterday, 3 errors in the game. And I had a little bit of a talk with a coach right before the game. And Kurt Townsend said he's there for a reason, and he had a fantastic fall. Just a little bit of jitters and a little chilly yesterday, and that kind of did the trick. But Blanco, very confident in the first play of the game. 1 down here in the top of the first inning. Now up to bat Ty Nicolay, the shortstop. Nicolay 1 for 3 yesterday. I digress. He was 0 for 3. Pitch in there for a strike. Hernandez doing a good job of getting ahead of batters in the first 2. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. And that one landed just beside us over here and almost took out a young lady who was fighting for her life there for a second. But she's okay. And we don't get too many foul back here into the stands. Most of them end up either over on Haley Street or into the parking lot. I don't think there was one fouled straight back yesterday.
No, not at all. And the ones that foul into the parking lot are the worst ones. We cringe.
We do cringe, and we wait for that sound every time one goes into the parking lot. And you know, there's a line of demarcation people don't want to get too close to. Now that one's in the dirt, and now the count is 2-2. BC, a good job of putting runs on the board yesterday. However, the bullpen kind of let them down the stretch. They had a 9-1 lead, and that evaporated. And first strikeout of the season for Jaden Hernandez. So Hernandez, 2 outs here. In the top of the first inning, and coming to the plate now, Callan Hertensteiner. Hertensteiner, the catcher. Hertensteiner really couldn't get going yesterday, but he's in that third spot for a reason, and I think at some point BC's going to see it, and that one's going to come in really quick, and making the play. That's going to be Luke Shaw. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first inning. You're watching Renegade Baseball. We'll be back with more after this.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegade, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegade, renegades. We put on a show, going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby, let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegade. Renegade. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our town. Ain't no team that we fear, we put in work. We taking off like a rocket, lifting up the earth. There's no other team like us. We taking over. Renegades. Rise up. Renegades. No time to waste. We bring the heat and dry the flames. Game's on to take. Renegades. Renegades.
Back here in the bottom of the first inning, due up Brito, Martin, and McDonald. Jordan Brito, the center fielder, a fantastic game yesterday. 2 hits and a stolen base. Had a fantastic night last night. He'll lead off here in the bottom of the first inning. That one just misses outside. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. Braden Huber on the mound for Moorpark. That one gets the inside corner, 1-1. Huber in his first appearance. And they went through a few pitchers yesterday. And that was outside. Now the count's 2-1. Braden Huber, the freshman out of Adolfo Camarillo High School in Moorpark. And Moorpark has a lot of local talent they've kept at home. Brito, that one's up the middle for a base hit. And he'll be on with Nick Martin coming up to bat now. Nick Martin, 5 at bats yesterday, 2 hits, 1 double, and 2 RBIs. Martin batting .400. And the top of the order for this Renegade squad really does put the ball in play. Not to mention, they've already got a little bit of a scouting on this team last night. And a stolen base last night by Brito. They threw over to first base, and the ball got away from the first baseman. Brito made it over to first, or over to second rather, and then got a stolen base and reached third. So he has the ability to move, and he is one of the quickest guys on this squad, and that's why he's the leadoff. So Huber's going to want to keep a real close eye on Jordan Brito today. Curveball in there misses, and it counts 1-0. Nick Martin in his sophomore season here at Bakersfield College. A solid second baseman, the leader of that infield. I think he's going to have a fantastic year once again this year. Both he and Jordan Brito had pretty good seasons last year. Pitch in there for a strike, and the count's 1-1. And aside from the fact that the Renegades have a number of sophomores, Liam O'Reilly, another one, over at first base, they've got a bunch of freshman talent that's come in from the local community here in Bakersfield. A lot of talent from Liberty, Centennial, Stockdale, and Frontier. So we were talking about it being the River League team. A lot of River League players and a bunch of players from Highland that made their way up here. Swing and a miss, and now the count's 1-2. So Coach Kurt Townsend doing a good job of recruiting locally and getting some of these guys to stay home. Once again, thrown over to first. They're keeping a really close eye on Jordan Brito. And Julian, we're going to be watching that all night long, it seems. They're going to just take their time. And, boy, on a night like tonight, you don't really want to be out here for too long.
That's right.
That game last night went over 3 hours.
Well, you know, it's just like – I got a pitch there. It's just like last night when the game started. You know, they don't want this game to get away from them. So they're starting early.
Huber's 2-2 pitch, and he fires over to first base once again. And that might be just a way of kind of wearing down Jordan Brito because he's really not off that far. And I would think that if Brito was going to get any kind of a chance to steal, he would make a much bigger lead than that. That one's fouled off out of bounds. Over by the bullpen for Moorpark. 2-2 still the count. We're in the bottom of the first inning, no score. 1 on 4 the Renegades. Jordan Brito with the first hit of the game. And that's an easy one. He skips back to the bag, standing up.
Yeah, I think we're watching Moorpark. They're really trying to set the tone with this second game. Like I said, they don't want this game to get away from them like it did last night.
Ball outside, and the count goes full. One thing we wanted to point out to our viewers, we do have some new camera angles that we're going to be instituting here during the season. A center field camera that is going to be cued in on the pitcher, catcher, and batter. So we're really looking forward to getting that set up. It'll make the game a little bit more enjoyable from the standpoint of the viewer as they'll be able to see the pitch. And then we also have another remote camera that we're going to put, I believe, over at first base or at third base. We haven't picked which angle will be the best one yet. But really looking forward to some of the new technology that we're going to institute here in the spring for the baseball program. And that'll carry over to football next season as well, as we're going to have we're going to have a camera down on the field next year. 3-2 pitch. And that one is going to hit the corner, and he's going to get punched out. And it looked like it was off. And I know Nick Martin didn't agree with that, but Nick Martin sure got a couple of pitches out of him. And the first strikeout of the game for Braden Huber. Again, the Renegades only struck out twice in yesterday's game. And now Landon McDonald up to the plate. And last night, he took one almost completely out of the park, and it's a little chilly. And had it been a little warmer, we talked about that, it probably would have been gone. I saw him after the game, and he kind of giggled about it, but he really got all that ball. And he has the ability as a home run hitter. I've watched Landon play for a number of years at the high school level at Frontier High School. 1 down, 1 on here in the bottom of the first inning. And a pitch hits in there for a strike, and the count's 0-1.
You know, Tom, and I don't know what it is about Brito, but they are really concerned about him. They are trying to keep him at first base.
Yeah, they don't really want to let – Jordan Brito has the ability. If he gets to second base and once poked into the outfield, he's going to score. Yeah, so they're going to make sure that they're holding him on. And the funny thing about the pitch clock, you can go to first base as many times as you want.
Yes.
And I don't know if that rule can be negated at some point after you've gone over there so many times without throwing a pitch. I don't know what the rule is on that. Ball outside, now the count's even at 1-1. Landon McDonald scored 2 runs yesterday and got 1 hit. He also had a double. Well, and I digress. On the stat sheet, it shows he had 2 doubles yesterday.
And I can only imagine he's doing as he's been instructed to do. I don't know. I think there's about 10 throws over there.
I think it might be. He's thrown the ball over to first base more than he's thrown pitches here
yes.
in the bottom of this first inning. Huber with the delivery at 1-1. And that one misses, and now it's 2 balls, 1 strike. McDonald batting .333. Again, has the ability to go long with the ball. That one's fouled off back to the net. He taps himself on the helmet because he thinks he really missed one there, and now it's 2-2. Landon starting in right field this year. He played shortstop in high school and was a pretty good shortstop. But the one thing that a lot of people don't know about him, that just watch him casually, is he's got a motor. And I'll tell you, we saw that yesterday as he was really moving around the bases yesterday.
Right.
He did actually I think he hit a triple. He got one into the gap and got all the way over to third base. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Way outside. Now the count goes full. And the second time that Braden Huber in this inning has found himself with a full count. And that pesky Jordan Brito over at first base. A little bit bigger of a lead now by Brito. And that's going to be an extra base now. 2 on with 1 out as McDonald gets walked down to first base with Brady Baird, the designated hitter, coming up. Brady Baird, the all-star of yesterday's game. Scored 2 runs, got 3 hits, 2 doubles, and 2 RBIs. Had a fantastic game yesterday. Really impressed with his play as a designated hitter. The tough part, of being a designated hitter, you're not going out into the field, so you're a little colder than everybody else that's in that active batting roster. But Brady Baird really does something with the bat, and the Renegades taking full advantage of his ability. Pitch in there for a strike, and now the count's 2-1. That one swung on over to second base, looking for the double play, and it's missed. The ball's dropped. Brito is going to score. McDonald is going to be held at third base. And a throwing error is going to be credited to the second baseman. And Brady Baird now advancing the runners. And Jordan Brito should have been out of second base, and a mistake by the second baseman, Nate Franco, on the throw over to Ty Nicolay. BC took advantage of a couple of errors yesterday. And so kind of a surprise. That one's high and inside to Luke Shaw, the left fielder. Luke Shaw scored 2 runs yesterday, had 2 hits and a triple and an RBI. So a big game for Luke Shaw yesterday. And BC wasn't able to get on the board in the first inning. They actually trailed. Swing and a miss by Shaw, and the count is 1-1. Brady Baird at first base and Landon McDonald at third. We're in the bottom of the first inning. 2 balls, 1 strike to Luke Shaw. And Baird is moving. Almost beat the throw, not quite. But Luke Shaw beats it down to first base, and Landon McDonald is across, and now we got 2 runs in this first inning. So the Renegades, 2 runners across here in the first inning. And again, after the first inning yesterday, really lit it up. And Liam O'Reilly now up to bat. And O'Reilly really has the ability to hit the ball well. He's a big guy, 6'4", 240 pounds. That one's going to be fouled off out of play. 0-1 the count. Ball outside, and the count's even now at 1-1. Liam O'Reilly, 2 runs scored yesterday, 1 hit, 1 double, and an RBI. And to see Liam O'Reilly get a double, he's a big guy, so he's lumbering. Curveball in there for a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. Ball off the plate. 2-2 count now. Riley drives that one into right field. Jaden Onaka back to make the play on it. He drops it. Wow. And I don't know if Onaka lost it in the lights because it got up there, and these lights are not really that tall.
Right.
But he missed it coming down, and that's going to be an error on the right fielder, and it's going to put Liam O'Reilly. He's going to make it all the way over to second base, and another run is going to come across, and 3 runs have come across on a couple of errors now in this inning. Not something that you want BC to take advantage of at this early in the game, and they have a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning. And now Jordan Mora at the plate. Mora with 2 RBIs in yesterday's game. That one's driven up the middle. And if O'Reilly, he's going to need a little bit of, he's not going to need any help at all. He's going to make that one in pretty well. And now Liam O'Reilly crosses the base on what should have been a routine fly ball out to right field. And now the Renegades with 4 runs in the inning. So Jordan Mora with a hit and an RBI now. And Tri Spainhauer, the catcher, now up to bat for the Renegades. Swing on and missed. No balls, 1 strike to Tri Spainhauer. Spainhauer catching tonight. And last night it was Smith behind the plate, so made a little bit of a change. And Smith did a pretty good job behind the plate last night, but boy, he was getting beat up all night long. That one's high in there, and now the count's 0-2. Correction, the count is 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strike. The ball gets away, and Mora's going to find his way down to second base. And now 2 out and a runner on second. And the Renegades still chiseling away here in the bottom of this first inning. 2 hits in the first inning and 2 errors. Swung on and missed. But that's going to do it for the first inning. Renegades strike first, score 4 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Back with more. Second inning coming up after this.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Renegades. We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades. We put on a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby, let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our town. Ain't no team that we fear, we put in work. We taking off like a rocket, lifting up the earth. There's no other team like us. We taking over, renegades. Rise up. Renegades. No time to waste. We bring the heat and dry the flames. Game's on to take. Renegades.
Back in the top of the second inning. Renegades with a 4-0 lead. Joshua Brown, the designated hitter, now up to bat. That one hit over to short. And a nice grab and a big throw. Fantastic job by Santiago Blanco, making up for yesterday quickly on 2 plays. And that was an absolute rocket. Santiago, a fantastic job. And puts the first one away. Jaden Onaka, the right fielder, now up to bat. That one swung on. It's going to be popped up. A routine play for Nick Martin. And 2 away here quickly. And Jaden Hernandez making easy work of it in the top of the second inning. Jadrian Klein Baker, the first baseman, now up to bat. And that one swung on, driven hard into left field. And all the way back and makes the catch. Wow, what a fantastic catch by Luke Shaw, tracking the ball all the way to the warning track. Hauls that one in. 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the second inning. And BC, fantastic work. We're heading to the bottom of the second. We'll be back after this.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Renegades. We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades. a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby, let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want it with us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegade. Renegade. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our town. Ain't no team that we fear, we put in work. We taking off like a rocket, lifting up the earth. There's no other team, no other team.
5 pitches by Jaden Hernandez to end the top of the second inning, and we're heading out to the bottom of the second. Santiago Blanco with a great play at shortstop. 2 big plays at shortstop in the first 2 innings. You know, I don't want to rub salt in an open wound, obviously. He had 3 errors yesterday, which, as I understand it, are uncharacteristic of Santiago Blanco. But, boy, has he made up for it already with a couple of real great plays at shortstop so far today. So either the nerves were really getting on him last night, we don't quite know, but a fantastic job at short with 2 big plays, and that was an absolute rocket out of his arm from shortstop over to first base to get the out. Pitch across the plate for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Santiago Blanco. Huber looks in for the sign. Here's the delivery. That one's going to be fouled off and out of play. It lands right over on top of the field house. Blanco yesterday scored a run and got a hit and had 2 RBIs and only struck out once. The Renegades only struck out 3 times yesterday. So a fantastic slugging percentage, .656 slugging. And a swing and a miss, and down he goes, and that's the first out for the Renegades in the bottom of the second inning. Back to the top of the order now for Jordan Brito. 3 strikeouts so far for Braden Huber. But 2 errors credited in that first inning to his defense. And the big one, obviously, Liam O'Reilly hitting the ball out to Jaden Onaka in right field, and Onaka just lost it. Curveball in there misses, and it counts 2 balls, no strikes. 1 ball, no strikes. We have a little bit of problem with the scoreboard over here, so I'm trying to keep. I thought I was ahead, but that got posted up there really fast. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and that one's in there for a strike, and now the count's 1-1. I don't know why I don't pay attention to the other scoreboard that I'm looking right over here on my left side, Julian. That one's –
yeah, you got a good shot there.
That's a great shot. Yeah, I can read that one really well, and it posts pretty quickly too. That's going to be in the dirt and miss, and now the count's 2 balls, 1 strike. Got quite a few fans out here tonight for a cold game. That parking lot's pretty packed full. Nice to have a great crowd up here for Bakersfield College, our second game of the season. A couple of people have these really nice heaters, and you can see the orange glow. And a drive into right field. Onaka is going to be back, and he'll make the play. And 2 away now here in the bottom of the second inning. Nick Martin now coming up to bat.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that have been waiting for baseball season. Baseball is a popular sport, and so
in January.
Yes, a lot of people have been waiting for baseball. Yes,
absolutely. Martin struck out in the first inning. One of the 3 strikeouts for Huber so far. Curveball in there and that one misses. I thought they were going to call a strike on that. Official's a little slow on the call on some of these, so we have to make sure that we're waiting it out just a little bit. You know, some of these umpires having a little bit of, they're trying to shake off that winter fog too, just like the rest of us. foul, and that one went, I think, into the dugout.
That's exactly where it went.
Everybody's okay, apparently. Boy, you really got to keep an eye out. Brand new dugouts, and they got a really high railing. But, you know, these baseball players, they just hang out over the top of the railing. One ball, one strike. That one looks like it got fouled off. Yes, it did, right off the end of the bat on the hosel. And 1-2 the count now to Nick Martin. Swung on and missed. Martin trying to get down the line. They'll get him. And that's going to do it. 2 innings in the books. It's the Bakersfield Renegades 4. The Moorpark Raiders 0. Back with the third after this.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegade, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegade, renegade. We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades, we put on a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want it with us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames.
Back for the third inning. I want to thank all of our fans for tuning in tonight. Bakersfield College has a special this year. All athletic events are free to enter. No entry fee for this season. That will end when football starts, I believe, in the fall. We're going to start charging for admission once again. But you'll have a chance to come up to any baseball or softball game or any of the basketball games because the season is not over yet. So be sure to come on up and enjoy a game. The snack bar over here is open. They have plenty of food. Really like to see a bunch of fans come and fill the stands. And we got a pretty good crowd tonight. And the temperature at game time beginning was under 50 degrees. I believe it was around 48. And we're wrapped up in winter gear up here atop the press box.
You're wrapped up in winter gear.
I got a blanket. Yeah, absolutely. And that one driven by Franco. And a short, shy left field. That'll be handled out there by Luke Shaw, one away. Braden McClure now coming up to bat, the left fielder. McClure last night, no hits. And did not reach base. Well, and I digress. I'm wrong about that. He did reach base 3 times. A lot of walks yesterday. As I said, between walks and hit batters, 17 runners got to first base yesterday on the Renegades. So a much different product going on here tonight. Not one batter's been walked yet. And no hits have been given up yet by Jaden Hernandez. 3 balls, no strikes to Brendan McClure. And that one hits the outside corner of the plate for a strike, and now the count's 3-1. Another strike. And the count goes full. And that one's going to miss. And that'll send McClure down to first base. The first walk of the game for the Renegades. Now Jackson Heron, the third baseman, coming up. Heron 2 at-bats in yesterday's game. A lot of players were swapped out around the 6th inning. So, you know, some of these stayed in, had 5 plate appearances. The rest of them only 2 or 3. And it was kind of like we laughed. It was kind of like a hockey line change.
Right.
Think about 5 players were swapped out in the 6th inning. And I'm not really sure if that was intentional by Zachary Miller. Just trying to get, you know, the game was out of hand. And that one's driven into short right field. McDonald tries to make a play on it. It gets one bounce. And a base hit now for Jackson Heron. And now there's 2 runners on at first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. So a little bit of offense getting going now for the Raiders. And they're back to the top of the order with Buddy Inosko. Inosko grounded out to shortstop in the 1st inning. That one's going to be swung on. That'll get over to second base, but wow. A great job by covering by Liam O'Reilly. Came off the bag and then went back. And they get the out and let the runners advance. Kind of the smart play there. So that ground out to first base. It'll be 2 down now in the top of the 3rd inning. And Ty Nicolay, the number 2 batter, he struck out in the 1st inning. And the last thing BC wants right now is a pass ball. So Jaden Hernandez needs to focus on trying to keep the ball out of the dirt. That one's going to be off the plate and outside. Now the count's 2-0. Pitch to Nicolay now. That one, inside. Just almost got him. And the count once again at 3-0. The second time in this inning that Hernandez has gotten behind the batter at 3-0. And the last time that happened, he walked Brendan McClure. That one's going to hit. And I don't know what Ty Nicolay saw in that one, but he was ready to race down to first base and load the bases up. Renegades still in danger. The count is 3-1. And the delivery. And that one's high and inside, and that is going to send Nicolay down to first base. And now the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. And the pitching coach and the catcher are going to go out and have a little bit of a conversation with Jaden Hernandez and try to calm him down. And the Renegades, remember yesterday, got out of 2 innings with bases loaded and no runs scored by Moorpark.
Yeah, and I was happy to see that. You know, once in a while with these coaches, they do the right thing, which is, you know, you get in a jam, you get out of the jam.
Absolutely. Yeah, we didn't see him pull guys. We didn't see Kurt Townsend pull guys yesterday, maybe as fast as we would have thought.
Right.
And I think that, as I said yesterday, and the conversation that I had with Kurt Townsend before the game today is, he said these freshmen have got to get to a point where they learn how to get themselves out of the problems that they've got. And really it's about kind of sticking to it and really doing the job that you're meant to do and really kind of gritting your teeth and biting down and going for it. That's kind of where they are. And that one's driven over to third base. And that'll be the 3rd out of the game. And Hernandez gets out of a jam with 3 runners left aboard and 1 hit. We're heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Back after this.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Renegades. We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades. We put on a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall. Game time, baby, let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Renegades. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our town. Ain't no team that we fear, we put in work. We taking off like a rocket, lifting up the earth. There's no other team like us.
Great job by Jordan Mora in the last inning. A shot right down the third baseline. He happened to be right there. And the line drive for the third out to get the Renegades out of a jam with runners on all three bases. And since the first inning, a 4-run inning for the Renegades. Braden Huber doing a good job of shutting down the Renegades 3 up, 3 down with 2 strikeouts in the last inning. And now up to bat, Landon McDonald. McDonald walked in the first inning. Curveball in there for a strike, and now the count's 1-1. The Renegades know with a 4-0 lead, you can't really lay down and get comfortable. Moorpark came back yesterday, scored 10 runs after they were down 9-1. And the Renegades held on to win 12-10, but not something you really want to see. And as I said, that bullpen really kind of failed the Renegades down the stretch. But a good job by Moorpark of just kind of hanging around the whole night. Got blanked for quite a few innings and then just started to pick it up after that. Huber steps off. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count to McDonald. That one's a little bit high, and now McDonald's going to walk down to first base for the second time tonight. 2 innings in a row. Brady Baird now reached on an error in the first inning. And as you recall, that ended up scoring Jordan Brito. And McDonald is going to get caught not paying attention on the base path. And Landon McDonald, I'm not sure what happened on that one. He was a little early, I think, on his break. And then he gets thrown out now. 1 down here in the third inning. And again, the one good thing about having Braden Huber as a left-handed pitcher, he's got a good spot right over there at first base. And the pickoff move worked on that play, caught McDonald leaning the wrong direction, and 1 down now here in the bottom of the third inning. And an 0-1 count to Brady Baird. Ball high, now the count's, well, I said they have a strike up there. They called that first one a strike, and I didn't see it. But now the count's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on up the middle. Shortstop's there to get it. Nicolay over to Klein Baker for the second out of the inning. And now Luke Shaw coming to the plate. The left fielder with an RBI in the first inning on a fielder's choice scored Landon McDonald. That one's fouled back into the net, and the count's 0-1. And so far what we've seen in the last 2 innings is that it seems that Braden Huber has settled down markedly. It looks like he's pretty comfortable right now. That one's going to be low and outside. Now the count's 1-1. And a wafting smell of barbecue just hit us up here on the top of the press box.
Is that what that was?
Oh, my goodness. Somebody's barbecuing down below. They did have a barbecue truck, not even a truck, it was a trailer being pulled by a truck in the parking lot last night, and they were grilling food up over there. So, again, anybody wants to come out to a BC baseball game, once again, it's free to get in here this season. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Shaw. Swings on it over to first base. Handily taken care of. 3 up, 3 down once again. As the Renegades lead the Raiders of Moorpark 4-0 into the top of the 4th inning after this.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades, renegades. We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades. We put on a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby, let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our town. Ain't no team that we fear, we put in work. We taking off like a rocket, lifting up the earth. There's no other team, no other.
Three innings in the book, back for the top of the 4th. Leading off from Moorpark, number 20, Callan Hertensteiner. I stand corrected. That was the last inning. I didn't get the last out on that. Joshua Brown, the designated hitter now, up to bat. Grounded out to short in the 2nd inning. That's going to be driven towards right field. Landon McDonald back underneath it, and 1 away. Back in the 2nd inning, we had a kind of a strange occurrence. As Julian Wilson and I were talking about, one of the fastest innings that we've seen. 5 pitches out of Jaden Hernandez to put them away, 1-2-3. It was a ground out to short, a fly out to second, and a fly out to left. A really quick inning.
Yeah, and batters don't normally swing at the first pitch. So it was kind of ironic that that happened when it did.
So a little dirt kicked up in the eye of catcher Trice Spain-Howard. And those are tough. So Joshua Brown with a fly out to right field to start the inning, and now Jaden Onaka, the right fielder, up to bat. He flew out to second in the 2nd inning. And again, we're on the same group, the same 3 that Hernandez dispatched pretty easily with 5 pitches in the 2nd inning. Pitch in there, hits the inside corner for a strike. Now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Onaka played the entire game yesterday, 5 at-bats. 1 hit, 2 RBIs. Pitch misses off the corner, and it's 3-2. Here's the payoff. That one's going to be hit really low. I don't know if he's going to get there. The throw down to first, and it hit Onaka in the back. And a good job of base running by Jaden Onaka. You can run on the inside path of the ball as, with reasonably. But usually that's what the runner will do, to try to catch that ball or try to get in the path of the base and the path between the ball and the thrower. And he did a good job of doing that. And got down first base line pretty quickly, too. And I don't know whether they're going to give him a credit for a hit there. Look it up on the board. I don't see anything credited yet. I got 1 hit. It looks like they did give him credit for the hit because he beat the throw. So hit for Jaden Onaka, and a swing and a miss by Jadrian Klein-Baker now, the first baseman, who flew out to left field. That long shot all the way out to the warning track, and Luke Shaw tracked it down for the third out of the inning back in the second inning. Fastball in there for a strike, and now the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball driven into center field. Jordan Brito going back. He's got underneath it. And Onaka tags and makes it all the way into second base. A speedy Jaden Onaka, smart base run and keeping an eye on that center fielder. And Jordan Brito really didn't have a chance. It was way deep, all the way out almost to the warning track, but gets the second out of the inning. And Nate Franco now coming to the plate. Franco flew out to left in the third inning. Two hits and 1 walk for Jaden Hernandez through 4.5 innings. I should say 3.5 innings. Pitch on the outside corner misses, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Franco had 3 at-bats last night and 1 RBI. Ball high, and now the count's 2 balls, no strikes. And in the last inning, you may remember Jaden Hernandez got into trouble a couple of times at 3-0.
Right.
Managed to find himself a way out of the mess. And actually in the third inning, had bases loaded and managed to find his way out of that. He faced 6 batters in the third inning as well. He walked the second batter. The third batter was Jackson Heron, got a hit, followed by a ground out to first, a fly out to third, and a ground out to first again. So finding his way out of that last inning, that one misses on the corner, and now it's 3 balls, 1 strike. And I don't know what the scouting report is on Nate Franco. Again, he was only up to bat 3 times yesterday. He had no hits. So the 1 run that was scored on the RBI was a sacrifice. That one misses. Oh, and it does hit the outside corner, but Franco tossed his bat away thinking that he was going to head down to first, and the count goes to 3-2. And from our vantage point here, and we have a pretty good one, we can see the corners. Well, I can see one corner. I can't see the other one because I'm off to the left side. But that one looked like it really painted that corner. And now the 3-2 pitch with a runner on second. That one's down the line. And I don't know if they called that foul. They did call it foul. Now the third base coach, he was calling it fair. As a third base coach will. Kind of akin to the first base coach that was helping the umpire with a safe call yesterday.
Yeah. They did it at every occasion they had,
That's right. 3 balls, 2 strikes here in the top of the 4th inning, 2 out. And that one's going to be off the plate. And Franco's going to find his way down to first base, and now they have runners at first and second with 2 out. And Brendan McClure coming to the plate. McClure walked back in the 3rd inning, part of that big 3rd inning that the Renegades did find their way out of. He was the second batter in the inning. So 2 walks now for Jaden Hernandez. First pitch in there for a strike, and the count's 0-1, and he's ahead. He has had a little bit of trouble not getting ahead tonight.
Right.
And that's really tough on a pitcher. When you're playing from behind in the count all night long, that really starts to take a toll. At some point, your luck will run out. That one's going to be fouled off back to the net on a check swing. 0-2 the count now. No balls, 2 strikes to Brendan McClure, the left fielder. Here's the delivery by Hernandez, and that one swung on over to second base. It'll be easily handled, and that's going to do it. Five batters put away as they leave 2 runners stranded. And we're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's the Renegades 4, the Raiders 0.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College.
Back for the bottom of the 4th inning, Liam O'Reilly to lead off for the Renegades. O'Reilly, as you may remember, reached on an error, a dropped ball out in right field that Jaden Onaka must have lost in the lights or something because it was a routine fly ball, and O'Reilly ended up at second base. Did end up scoring as part of that first inning blitz that the Renegades went on and scored 4 runs. That pitch hits the outside corner. Second pitch in there misses for a ball, and now it's 1-1. That one on the outside corner hits. O'Reilly looked it in all the way, and now the count 1-2. They've been painting that outside corner. Braden Huber's been paying a lot of attention, not even coming inside. And that one's way outside, and now the count's 2-2. Riley with a big swing and a miss, and down he goes. First out of the inning. And a strikeout now is 4 for Braden Huber. Practically 1 per inning. He did have 2 strikeouts in the second inning, none in the third, but he went 1, 2, 3. Now Jordan Mora. Mora with a hit and an RBI in the first inning. And that one over to first base, the ground out. And 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Braden Huber really settled in after that first inning, got blown up, and since then has only faced 4 batters in the second, 3 batters in the third, and 2 batters so far with 2 out here in the 4th. So a fantastic job by Braden Huber of really kind of settling in after, you know what, some people, I mean, I know a lot of these players, you know, they've dealt with adversity. And sometimes getting just walloped in the first inning is not enough for them to fold in the towel. He's definitely showing that right now. Pitch off the corner to Trice Spainhoward, the catcher who struck out in the second inning. Spainhoward in his first appearance this season. Smith was catching yesterday. Now Spainhoward in the catching spot tonight. One ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs. And that one, I don't know if he kind of lost it. That one hit about 3 feet in front of the plate. And it was over to the left-hand side. So obviously Huber lost his grip. And it is cold out here. Yeah. Right now I think it's around 45 degrees.
We need to check that. We'll follow up.
We will follow up. And a swing and a miss. And down to first base. And that's 3 up, 3 down. Renegades with a 4-0 lead over the Raiders. 5th inning coming up right after this. Heron, Onosko, and Nicolay coming up to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. Once again, joining you this evening, I'm Tom Myers. That's Julian Wilson. John Hare on camera. Thank you for our fans for tuning in tonight for the second game of the 2026 season. The Renegades beat Moorpark last night 12-10. And a shot right up the middle by Jackson Heron in his second hit of the game. And Buddy Onosko coming to the plate. He grounded out to short in the first inning. A great play by Santiago Blanco. Then grounded out to first in the third inning. The Raiders have yet to get on the board. It took them, from the first inning, they scored 1 run yesterday. It took them all the way until the 7th inning before they could put up 4 more runs. But they put up 4 runs in the 7th yesterday, 2 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th. It started to track down the Renegades. I mean, it was a 10-12 score by the end of the game. But a fantastic job of Moorpark of really kind of just hanging around and sticking with it. A well-placed bunt. That one's over to second base. And not a great throw by Jordan Mora, but Santiago Blanco outstretched. And he's not leaving. And I'm still trying to figure that out. Oh, he's actually going to get called safe. Well, he's not leaving.
We're showing it out.
Oh, well, yeah, they're going to argue it, but he's out.
He's out. Yes.
Yeah, it looked like the throw beat him. And I will say, Santiago Blanco is a pretty long kid. And he reached out and grabbed the ball. And then the argument, you can argue all day long with that umpire. He's not going to change his mind. I've never seen an umpire change his mind.
Yes. I can't believe he ran all the way out there.
Blanco did a good job of corralling that ball and bringing it in. And a smart play by going to second if you have the time. But again, really got to make sure you're keeping track of the throw. So 1 down now here in the top of the 5th. So Nosko will reach on a fielder's choice. And Ty Nicolay now up to bat. And Nicolay struck out in the first inning and flew out to third on that line drive shot in the third.
And I believe that was a strike call.
No balls, 1 strike, the count, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Renegades lead the Raiders of Moorpark 4-0. That one's right in there for a strike, and now the count's 0-2. And Jaden Hernandez ahead. He struck out 1 so far. On 3 hits and 2 walks. Walks were really a problem for the Renegades yesterday. I've said it 100 times. I'll say it 100 times more. Between the 3 or 4 hit batsmen and the rest were walked, there were 17 total free rides given to first base yesterday.
You know,
and Tri Spainhauer trying to come up out of his squat really fast, loses the ball, and a free base pretty much is going to go to Buddy Onosko.
Yeah, and you mentioned that what happened yesterday, and it happened, and that's how Moorpark got back in the game, all those walks.
Yeah, when you put 17 guys on for free, that does create a bit of a problem. And again, as I said yesterday, their batting average is only 206. So it was the walks that were getting them on and the reason that they scored so many runs. So Townsend's going to come out now, and the bullpen has some guys out there, and I think that they're going to go ahead. That's going to do it for Jaden Hernandez. And getting a lot of congratulations from the guys that get him through 5 innings so far, 5 1/3. Well, I should say 4 1/3 because it's not a complete 5th. Nobody said there was going to be math today.
Gosh. Well, you're at a college campus. I think that's a given.
Yeah.
The math part.
Yeah, I understand the math part.
Yes, okay.
As an accounting and finance major when I was here. So BC's going to kind of wait it out, and it looks like the pitcher is going to come in. They're going to wait until the official comes out and tells them, hey, guys, let's do this. And Kurt Townsend usually doesn't make a trip out to the mound unless there's going to be a pitching change.
Well, we don't see anybody running.
I see one player standing over
yes,
in foul territory along the first baseline. He's waiting to get the call, and here he comes. So that'll do it for Jaden Hernandez. Hernandez, 3 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. And getting a bunch of congratulations of 4 scoreless innings so far. And now, coming on in relief, so coming in now for the Renegades, that's number 40, Logan Judd. And Logan Judd out of Frontier High School. And I haven't really had a chance to talk to Logan much. Logan had Tommy John surgery. Well, I stand corrected. Not Tommy John. He had knee surgery on a knee injury that he had. It was either an MCL or ACL tear last season. So he is medically redshirted for last year. And originally had planned on going to Cal State Bakersfield, but now finds his way up to Bakersfield College. And I'll tell you what, Logan, a powerful pitcher and an even better hitter. Comparable, if not even better than Landon McDonald, who also was his teammate at Frontier High School. And Logan Judd, a fantastic young man, just a very polite, wonderful kid. And I, gush and gush and gush over some of these guys, but I know some of my Frontier kids for a long time, and I've watched them play baseball for several years now, and I'm just really excited that he's getting the opportunity to get back to playing baseball after an injury last year. So congratulations, Logan Judd. We're glad to have you back this season. So Judd inherits a base runner at second. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. And yesterday, every time we had somebody come in, the first thing they did was either hit a batter or put one in the dirt. Let's see what Logan Judd does here as he faces number 20, Callan Hertzsteiner. And Hertzsteiner, the big catcher. And we have his size on this roster, and he's a large guy for a catcher. Hertzsteiner, 6'2", 220 pounds.
Wow.
And he's in the 3 spot for a reason, and that's one of those dangerous things. You don't want to see this guy hit a bomb and get these guys back close. So I don't know what the scouting report is that they've talked about, but I'm sure Kurt Townsend said don't throw him strikes right down the gut. 2 balls, no strikes to Hertzsteiner. And a curveball. That one's going to be a little bit shy. And now the count goes to 3-0. Three balls, no strikes, 1 out, and a runner on here in the top of the 5th inning. Logan Judd in his first appearance so far this season. And that one's going to be in there for a strike, and now the count goes full. And I digress. We got 2 runners on, and I didn't see. I've got the pole right in the way here. And I didn't see the first base runner over there. I wasn't paying attention. So we do have a runners on first and second. And both runners are going to advance on a ball in the dirt, but it was going to be a ball anyway. So they were moving. And I don't even know, it's only 1 out, and they were running like there was 2 outs. So Judd walks a runner right out the get-go.
And he didn't want to do that. We know he didn't want to do that.
So now Joshua Brown, the designated hitter, grounded out to shortstop and flew out to right field in the last inning. And that ground out to short was a rocket. Hit right over to Santiago Blanco. So bases loaded now with 1 out. And Logan Judd trying to get the Renegades out of a jam. 1 ball, no strikes, and that one's way outside. So Judd behind in the count, 2-0. And Judd has a pretty good fastball. And we'll see if he goes to it here. And a strike. Now the count's 2-1. So there's going to be a walk, and Judd's going to walk the runner across. And the first run of the game for the Raiders. And that's not really the way he wanted to come into this game and give up a run as he walks his first two batters. So another walk now. 5 walks in the game for the Renegades. Now up to bat, Jaden Onaka. Onaka got a hit back in the 4th inning and flew out to second in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, Tom, he'll need to settle in quickly. We have the go-ahead run, obviously, at the plate now. So with one out, you'll have to settle in quick.
That one's going to be fouled off right over the top of us. Out into the parking lot. And the count's 1-1. That pitch just off the plate. I think it's the corner. And now the count's 1-2. And Logan Joe would really like to get a strikeout here with bases loaded, or get the Raiders to hit into a double play and get out of the inning just with 1 run. And Judd steps off. Back onto the rubber with the pitch clock running. You do get a step off. Curveball into the dirt. And 2 balls, 2 strikes the count now to Jaden Onaka. And Onaka, the right fielder, we talked about him yesterday. And he dropped that ball that allowed the Renegades to get that 4-run score in the 1st inning. And again, I'm going to assume that he just lost it up in the sky because the ball got a little bit higher than these lights. Well, a lot higher than the lights. And that went in there, and a 3rd call strike. And down goes Onaka, and the first strikeout of the year for Logan Judd. And now Jadrian Klein Baker, the first baseman who flew out to left in the 2nd and flew out to center. That big, long shot. Jordan Brito chasing that one back almost to the warning track. The curveball in there for a strike, hits the corner. And the count's 0-1. So Logan Judd settled in just a little bit now. And we'll find out what else he's got in the tank here. And the Renegades, that one's going to be driven out to right field. Landon McDonald is under it. And that's going to do it. Five and a half innings of play in the books, and the Renegades are leading 4-1. 1 run given up. And 1 hit in that inning. Renegades lead 4-1. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th inning after this. Back for the bottom of the fifth inning, Renegades leading the Raiders of Moorpark College 4-1. Moorpark finally getting on the board and getting a little bit of offense. Logan Judd walked in the only run, so he will not get credited for that particular run. Said that'll get credited to the starting pitcher. Santiago Blanco, the shortstop, struck out in the second inning his last time up at bat. Blanco doing a good job on defense tonight. And a big swing and a miss. And the count's 1-1. Blanco's had a couple of tough shots driven his direction over there at shortstop that he handled well. And one of them, he had to get that ball over to first base in a hurry, but just a rocket going out of his hand to throw out the runner. So a good job at shortstop tonight for Santiago Blanco, and now the count's 1-2 here in the bottom of the fifth. That one driven over second base. And Blanco kind of looking to turn, comes back, and a base hit for Santiago Blanco. So good leadoff for the Renegades. And now Jordan Brito. Brito with a hit in the first and a fly out to right in the second. But, boy, you got Brito and Nick Martin, and really what you want is Santiago Blanco did his job by getting over to first base because Jordan Brito has a way of getting the ball in play. And I'm feeling a little guilty because Moorpark has got a new pitcher in, but I don't know what his number is. And I'm thinking it's 37 or 32, and that one's going to get past. And Blanco thought about it a little too late. It's going to find his way back. So number 37 for Moorpark is Ruben Venegas, the right-handed pitcher, 5'9", out of Santa Paula High School in Santa Paula, California. So Venegas with his first appearance today. So Huber with 5 strikeouts on 3 hits and 2 walks and 4 runs. Ruben Venegas with his first appearance this season. And I said Huber with 3 hits. It was actually 2 hits and 2 walks and gave up 4 runs. Swing and a miss by Jordan Brito. And now the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. So Santiago Blanco had a chance to get down to second base on that pass ball. And you really got to make up your mind quickly on a pass ball like that. And a couple of pass balls that have ended up over there that the Renegades have taken advantage of over the last couple of days. One and one the count, nobody out. Runner on first for the Renegades, leading 4-1, and that one's driven into center field. Tracking it, doing a good job, and falling down. Buddy Inosko, luckily he caught it before he tripped, but he was going to come up throwing. So a fly out to center field with Nick Martin now coming up. And Martin struck out in the first inning and grounded out to second in the second inning. And honestly, Huber had a pretty good job. 3 runners up and down, or three batters up and down in the third inning. 3 batters up and down in the fourth inning. And so he was really doing pretty well. I don't know how many pitches that he had. But after that first inning, really kind of settled in and did a good job of taking care of business. Renegades really hadn't had any success since the first inning. Martin with a swing and a miss, and now it's 0-1 the count. That one's inside. Now the count's 1-1. So Venegas trying to keep an eye on Santiago Blanco over at first base, but Blanco's really not leading off too much. But in some cases, they're throwing over to first to kind of give the batter, and Blanco goes. And that one's going to be under. It's going to go into center field. So Blanco with a stolen base finds his way to second base now. And not even a big lead. And I think that's why they weren't paying a whole lot of attention. But as soon as Venegas had tipped his hat and was on his way to home plate with the ball, Blanco just got on his horse and headed for second and finds his way in there. Even if the throw was good, I think he still would have been in there pretty good. Foul driven down the left field line. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Nick Martin trying to advance the runner with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Swung on and missed. That's going to be thrown over to first base for the 2nd out of the inning. And 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th for the Renegades. And now Landon McDonald batting in the 3 spot, coming to the plate. He's walked both times up, but McDonald got caught leaving a little bit early in the last inning, and they're going to walk him down to first base because they really don't want to look at him. But I don't know if that's any consolation, because now they're going to bring Brady Baird to the plate. And Baird had a big game yesterday, and we talked about that. 5 at-bats, scored 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 doubles, and 2 RBIs. So Brady Baird with a big game yesterday. I don't know if he's a consolation prize. Would you rather face him instead of facing Landon McDonald? And they saw what he did yesterday and are still choosing to choose him instead of McDonald. And now both runners are going to advance on a pass ball. And that one just got through the hands of Callan Hertensteiner. Didn't look like he was far off the plate. And it's a little chilly out here tonight. It's hard to play a baseball game in the cold. I can't imagine what that ball feels like hitting your mitt.
Right. Baseball is not a cold weather sport. It's
No,
just not.
it
It is not a cold weather sport.
And now
yeah.
they're going to choose to walk Brady Baird down to first base and load the bases with Luke Shaw now coming up. And Luke Shaw reached on a fielder's choice and got an RBI in the first inning and then grounded out to first in the 3rd inning. So they're rather take their chances on him. And Luke Shaw has the ability to get that ball in play.
Tom, I don't know if I've ever seen that twice. I've seen it once where they pass, but not twice.
I've seen it a number of times in my career of watching baseball, if that's a career. But not at the JUCO level, at least not at Bakersfield College in the last couple of seasons that I've been here. Oh, and that's going to hit him, and that's going to score a run. So a hit batter now. And Luke Shaw trotting down to first base as Santiago Blanco, who led off the inning, is going to score. And now the one person they didn't want to see is Liam O'Reilly. And Liam O'Reilly has the ability to put the ball over the fence. And now the outfielders are playing back. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Renegades with a 5-1 lead and 2 out. O'Reilly with a big swing and a miss on an outside fastball. That one's going to be low and in the dirt. Now the count's 1-1. Liam O'Reilly also has the ability to pitch. He pitched a little bit last season. We had one game where we watched him hit. I think it was, I say 8 batters. I don't know if it was that many, but it was a lot. And Liam kind of giggles about that now, and we had a conversation about it earlier in the season. Another one in the dirt, and now the count's 2 balls, 1 strike. Venegas trying to get out of a tight spot here. 1 run across so far in the 5th inning. Swung on, and I don't know if that hit the batter. If that hit Landon McDonald, and I think it hit him in foul territory. Otherwise, he would have been out. But wow, what a shot down third base line. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Venegas is in there for a high fastball, and now the count is full. And he's at risk once again of walking across another run. And really, the last person you probably want to see right now where you have to throw a strike is Liam O'Reilly. O'Reilly, and he's going to sky that one. Tracking it back, Ty Nicolay, and that's going to do it. Renegades leave 3 runners aboard, but they score 1. We're heading to the top of the 6th inning after this. Back for the top of the 6th inning, Nate Franco, Brendan McClure, and Jackson Heron coming up this inning. Franco with a fly out to left in the 3rd inning and walked in the 4th. Logan Judd in his 2nd inning walked a run across in the 5th inning, but then managed to get his composure, got a strikeout, and a fly out to right to end the inning. That one's going to hit the outside corner, and now the count's 1-1. So Logan Judd settled in pretty good. Walked his first 2 batters. And that one's going to hit the outside corner on a breaking ball, and now the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And I haven't seen Logan Judd pitch in a couple of seasons now. He graduated Frontier High School in 2024. Again, he had the knee injury. So he was unable to play. He was committed to go to Cal State, but ended up here. And now it looks like he's back at full strength. That one swung on and fouled back. Spain Howard jumps to his knees and grabs that one quickly. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Nate Franco, the second baseman, had a pretty decent game yesterday. That one swung on and fouled back to the fence. Count remains 2-2. Franco had 3 at-bats yesterday and an RBI. And honestly, that's saying a lot because some of the credit didn't get, the players didn't get credits for the RBIs. There was a lot of walks in yesterday's game. So some of those runs, coming across on, errors and other types of plays where you don't get credit for the RBI. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Over to Nick Martin, who puts it away. And one down here in the top of the 6th. I talk a lot about routine plays. And, no play is really altogether too routine. And now Kurt Townsend coming out to talk to Logan Judd. Not quite sure what the issue is here. And he's giving him a tap, and that's going to do it for Logan Judd after only an inning. But he gets the out. And maybe just tonight, he's just trying to get a feel for where people are and not run them too long, and that's pretty much where it's going to be. So Logan Judd, 1 inning in the books for him, and he's going to take a seat, only giving up a run on that walk. That walk will be charged to the starting pitcher for tonight. So now coming in for the Renegades, it's going to be number 3, Zachary Wargo. Wargo, right-handed sophomore pitcher out of Kern Valley High School. So Wargo already warmed up. He'll get a couple of pitches in here. So Logan Judd leaves with 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Well, I digress, 2 walks. And got a player to fly out to right to finish the inning in the last inning. And now 1 player grounds out to second before he takes a seat for the rest of the night. So Zachary Wargo, once again out of Kern Valley and Kern Valley High School, in his first appearance of the season. The Renegades have only struck out 2 batters so far tonight. So we'll find out what Wargo is made out of here. It looks like he's got a pretty good fastball. And Kurt Townsend may be just using this 2-game stretch with a lead to test out his bench and see exactly what his bullpen has in them, just to find out if they can, carry the load throughout the season. And really, that's where you go. You go to your bullpen in many moments. And that one, oh, wow. Brendan McClure, I think that if he hadn't swung, that ball would have hit him square. He literally hit that one right in front of his body and fouled it over into the dugout on the first baseline. So I'm pretty sure Wargo didn't plan on wanting to throw a ball straight at the first batter that he faced. That one got away from him just a little bit. And kind of a defensive swing by Brendan McClure. Ball's high and the count's 1-1. McClure, the left fielder, walked in the 3rd inning and grounded out to second in the 4th. And another one kind of thrown right at him, and he turned on it hard. I think that one would have hit him as well. So 2 pitches way inside on McClure. And the count is 1-2 with 1 away here in the top of the 6th inning. Curveball in high, and now the count goes to 2-2. Fastball inside just misses the inside of the plate. And that's the second time that I've watched Zachary Wargo throw a fastball where his hat falls off. And now the count is full. And Brendan McClure once again walked in the third inning. And that one inside again. And driven way out into the parking lot. There's cars over there.
Yeah, that's a car. Wow.
And I think I parked my car over there going, oh, there's no way he's going to reach me. But McClure has literally a couple of defensive swings, 3 of them now. Curveball in there for a strike, and down he goes. A nice breaking ball by Zachary Wargo. And the first strikeout of his 2026 season. Renegade pitching staff with 3 strikeouts tonight. They had 10 last night. And now Jackson Herron up to bat. And Herron with 2 hits so far. He's 2 for 2. Reached in the third inning and reached again in the 5th before being thrown out. It was a smart move by the third baseman going over to second base to throw him out. And that one's going to be popped up in a routine fly ball. And it's going to be 3 up, 3 down. Going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Renegades lead 5-1. We'll be back with more. New pitcher for the Raiders as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Ronan O'Connell, the 6'3", 220 left-hander out of Moorpark High School, a freshman. He'll face Jordan Mora, Trice Spainhoward, and Santiago Blanco here in the bottom of the 6th. And his first pitch is outside and high, and the count's 1-0. Jordan Mora, a hit and an RBI in the first inning, and a ground out to first in the 4th. Pitch in there for a strike, and the count's 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike the count. Jordan Mora at third base has made a couple of good plays today. There was a shot that was sent straight at him, and that one's going to be driven down along the right field line, and it's going to hit, and it's good. It's into the corner, and Mora on his horse heading around second base, and he's going to be into third. Jordan Mora with a triple, and 2 hits and an RBI in the game for Jordan Mora today. So Mora leading off the bottom of the 6th inning and 90 feet away from giving another run to the Renegades, with Trice Spainhoward coming to the plate. And Spainhoward struck out twice so far tonight. Once in the 2nd and once in the 4th. Spainhoward just trying to put one into play. Even if he bloops one into the outfield, that'll be enough to get Mora across the plate. Pitch off the plate, and the count's 1-0. You know, fans, come on out and join us this season. Renegade Baseball, free admission for everybody who shows up. Breaking ball misses, and the count's 2 balls, no strikes. Tonight's game temperature, 48 degrees. Couple of people with heaters out here tonight. A lot of heaters. I don't know where those things come from, but, I mean, battery packs must work on some of them. Couple of propane tanks hooked up to them.
Yeah, I see one with propane down there.
I think somebody found an electric outlet somewhere, and that one's in there high, and now the count's 3-0, and O'Connell is behind. That one in there for a strike, and now the count's 3-1. Spainhauer definitely taking on that pitch. He struck out twice so far, would like to get down to first base, or at least poke one into the outfield. Swung on and missed, and now the count's full. Spainhauer in to catch tonight for Jason Smith. That was off the plate, and now he's going to head down to first base, and there are runners at the corners with nobody out. And Santiago Blanco coming to the plate. 1 for 2 tonight with a strikeout in the 2nd inning and a hit in the 5th. And he did score, the only one that scored in that 5th inning, to put the lead back up to 4 for the Renegades. 5 walks in the game for Moorpark today. Here's the delivery. That one's way outside. Breaking ball misses. And the count's 1 ball, no strikes. We talked about it last night, and some of the pitches, you got to give that ball a chance and give it, at least a little bit of a chance to get somewhere close to fool the player. Otherwise, they're watching that one way outside, and it doesn't have a chance. And I think some of those in this cold weather, they may be slipping a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, some of these pitchers get warmed up, and they're at a pretty good temperature because they're moving pretty good. But it still can't be easy to be dealing with this kind of temperature.
Well, like you said, it's tough to get a player to swing at a ball if it's way outside. You can't tempt him that way.
You're absolutely right. Two balls, no strikes, the count to Santiago Blanco. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runners at the corners, nobody out. And not a great throw by Ronan O'Connell over to first base. That one kind of went into the dirt. And a good job by Jadrian Klein Baker getting in front of it and knocking it down. Seen a couple of throws over to first base by multiple pitchers for the Raiders that have gotten away from him and advanced the players, and that one misses. And I don't know if he got contact with that or not.
He did, yes. We made contact, so we got a strike.
Callan Hertensteiner looks like it kind of got away from him a little bit and might have hit him on that foul tip. 2 balls, 1 strike to count to Santiago Blanco. And they may be a little off because I think the official signaled 2-2. Blanco just trying to advance some runners, and maybe they're trying to squeeze Jordan Mora in. That one jumped on, and that's going to be deep into left field. Mora's going to tag, and he's going to score and bring in another run, and now the Renegades lead 6-1. So a sacrifice fly by Santiago Blanco. So back to the top of the order in Jordan Brito. Brito 1 for 3 tonight with a hit in the first inning, flew out to right in the second, and flew out to center in the fifth. Yeah, throw over to first. Just trying to keep Trice Spainhoward close, and that's been kind of a thing, as we talked about, like 10 throws over to first base. Brito, a line shot out to center field, easily cut off by Buddy Onosco, and 2 down now here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Nick Martin now coming up to bat, struck out in the last inning. Also struck out in the first inning, so he's 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts and a ground out to second. So the second fly out to center for Jordan Brito in today's game. And another throw over to first base. O'Connell's first inning in the game. He's given up a run and a hit. But he's got 2 flyouts. And looking to retire, Nick Martin. Martin not having a great night with 2 strikeouts. And as we talked about yesterday, the Renegades only struck out 3 times yesterday. So really got a good job batting and a great slugging percentage. Talked about that, 656 was the slugging percentage for the Renegades yesterday. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. That one gets the outside corner. Martin trying to keep the inning going. Another throw over to first base, trying to keep Spainhoward close to the first base bag. That one fouled back to the net. Now the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one's really high, and Spainhoward got caught. He's got to get in under the tag. And Spainhoward kind of stalled out a little bit there for a second before he actually took off again. Not really sure what the plan on that was, but the throw is high, and he gets underneath it, and now advances to second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Martin. And another ball high, now the count is full. And a swing and a miss, and Martin goes down. 1 left aboard, but 1 across. And the Renegade lead is back to 5. They lead 6-1, and we're heading to the 7th inning coming up next. Leading off at the top of the 7th inning, Buddy Onosko back to the top of the batting order for the Raiders. And we still have Zachary Wargo in the game. That one over to shortstop and mishandled by Blanco. And even if he had got it, I got to wonder if he would have ended up making that play. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a pretty difficult throw. And Onosko was down the line really quickly. So one runner on and nobody out here in the 7th inning. Ty Nicolay now up to bat. Swung on, and that's driven into right field. Landon McDonald over to cut that off. He's going to have it. And kind of scooped that one up on the side. That was a little bit dangerous. And one away here in the 7th. Some of those sometimes just look like they're just a little bit too comfortable on that catch. You know, the days of the two-hand are gone, right, Julian?
That's right.
No more two-handed catches.
Well, if you're watching Major League Baseball, yeah.
Yeah. Callan Hertensteiner now up to bat, the catcher for the Raiders. Flew out to left in the first, grounded out to first in the third, and walked in the 5th. Breaking ball hits the outside corner, and it snowballs 1 strike. So we're going to keep an eye on Onosko. That one driven into left field, and it's going to drop. And a base hit for Hertensteiner. And I believe that's his first base hit of the series now for the Raiders. And we said it at one point, he was going to start showing up, and now he has. A walk in the 5th inning and a hit in the 7th. With Joshua Brown, the designated hitter, now coming to the plate. One away, and runners at first and second. Brown grounded out to short, flew out to right, and walked. Fastball hits the outside corner for a called strike, and now it's 0-1. As we said earlier, 48 degrees the temperature for tonight's game. So a little chilly. Breaking ball in there for a strike, and now the count's 0-2. And somebody hit the strike button on the scoreboard one too many times.
And it's 0-3.
And it's 0-3. That one driven into right field. But Brito over to cut that off, and now he's going to fire over to third and save the advancement of the runner. Smart job by Jordan Brito. Really quick thinking on the play. And Brown flies out to center for the second out of the game. And now Jaden Onaka coming to the plate. Onaka, 1 for 3 tonight. Flew out to second in the second inning, got a hit in the 4th, and struck out in the 5th. 2 runners on. That one driven up the gap. And Brito, he's going to come up with it and fire it in. And it might be in time. No, it's just past the catcher. And Buddy Onosko is going to score, and he was moving. And that one just kind of escaped the hand of Trice Spainhoward. I thought he got a grip on it. And honestly, his glove hit Onosko. So if he come up with the ball, he would have gotten him. So a hit for Jaden Onaka and an RBI. And he ends up at second base. And now the Raiders are 90 feet away from another run as they get 1 in the inning, and now it's 6-2, Renegade lead. Jadrian Klein Baker now up to bat. He's going to drive that one into center field. Brito on his way back, can't get it. 2 runs are going to come across. And Klein Baker on his way to third base, and he's going to be in there. Dives in head first. And a triple for Jadrian Klein Baker. And now The score is 6-4. And here come the Raiders. And 2 RBIs across for Klein Baker. And Nate Franco coming to the plate now. So a couple of hits in a row, a single and a triple. And Onaka gets credit for the single because they went somewhere else with the ball. He did end up at second base. And that one's going to be driven up the middle. Cut off by Blanco, fired over to first. But the damage is done. 3 runs across for the Moorpark Raiders, and they get closer to within 2. It's 6-4. Bakersfield College leads. Back with the bottom of the 7th after this. Back for the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be Landon McDonald, Brady Baird, and Luke Shaw. And another change of pitching. In now for the Raiders, number 23, Jaden Onaka. Onaka out of Oaks Christian High School. The 6'3" right-hander. It'll be the 4th pitcher of the game. And Landon McDonald looking to try to get at least a couple of swings at the plate as they walked him in the last at bat. So Onaka going to do his best to not walk Landon McDonald, because following McDonald's going to be Brady Baird, Luke Shaw, and Liam O'Reilly. So a really good heart of the order here for the Renegades. Jaden Onaka getting the introduction from the public address announcer here at Bakersfield College. 3 runs scored in the last inning by the Raiders as they pulled it within 2. Renegades holding on to a slim 6-4 lead here. Swung on and fouled away by McDonald, and the count's 0-1. Landon McDonald walked in the first inning, walked in the third inning, and was intentionally walked in the 5th. In the third inning, though, he got caught cheating off the first base line too much, had to commit and go, and then got caught in a rundown. And that was the first out of the inning. And then Brady Baird in that same inning grounded out to short, followed by Luke Shaw, who grounded out to first. So a really good showing in that first part of the game for Braden Huber. And they pulled Huber quickly. He was really on a roll before they started putting in backup pitching. Don't know why they went to the bullpen so early. And it didn't seem as though he had that many pitches in the pitch count at the time. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to McDonald, trying to fight that one off. And And in the last inning that this batting order was up, that was the 5th inning. They managed to put a couple of runs up in that inning. Well, I say a couple. It was one. That one fouled back. That's going to end up in the stands here. Well, when it comes back down, we lost it for a second there. Once it heads out of the lights, we really can't see much after that. And that one really got up there. And McDonald just missed on that one and skied it. And some of these, he gets I remember Landon would get a look on his face like he knows when he misses on a pitch.
Right.
And he likes the fastball. He's going to pull that one. He didn't really hit that one solid, and it's going to go over into the bullpen on the left field line.
Well, I have to tell you, with McDonald at the plate right now and the way he's swinging, if you're the opposing team, you can't help but be concerned every time he swings that bat.
And they're not playing incredibly deep. Well, they probably are. The right fielder's not. But center field and left field are playing extremely deep, back by the warning track, and that one's going to be fouled up. And straight coming down. And it's caught. It's out of the mitt of out of the mitt of Callan Hertensteiner, and right behind him to grab it is Jaden Onaka. Onaka with a heads-up play saw it bounce out of the mitt of Callan Hertensteiner and literally lunged forward and catches it. What a fantastic play by Jaden Onaka. Paying attention there. So a ball fouled out. And I'm sure that Landon McDonald would like to have that one back, but he's not going to get it. Couple of foul balls. And I think there were probably 8 pitches in that last at bat. So McDonald doing his job of trying to get as many pitches out of that arm as he possibly can, but then ends up giving one away. And now Brady Baird up 2 quick swings, and he's down 0-2 in the count.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting play. And you can kind of sense a bit of a momentum swing.
You're absolutely right. There is a bit of a momentum swing right now. That one's going to hit the inside corner, and Brady Baird kind of backed off like he thought it was inside, and down he goes. And now there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th with Luke Shaw coming up to bat now. He reached on a fielder's choice and got an RBI in the first inning. Then he grounded out the first and the third and got hit by a pitch in the 5th. And on that hit pitch, it walked a run in. So that one driven into center field. It's going to drop. And Luke Shaw's going to have his second hit of the game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. And now Liam O'Reilly coming up to bat. O'Reilly, well, scratch that. O'Reilly's going to go back in, and they're going to have a pinch hitter come in for Liam O'Reilly. And that's going to be number 27, Luke Camp. And Luke Camp, the freshman out of Centennial High School. His first at-bat of the season. First pitch in there for a strike. So not really sure what the thought process is here. O'Reilly reached on an error in the first inning, but then he struck out in the 4th and flew out to shortstop in the 5th inning. So maybe that's why Camps is in now. A big throw over to first, almost got him. And Shaw gets back just in time. And Luke Shaw, a speedy left-hander. I don't know if that one was thrown off the plate intentionally for the pitch out, but if it was, Hertensteiner wasn't ready for it. 1-1 the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Renegades leading 6-4. And a nice, comfy crowd out here tonight. A lot of heaters in the stands. I don't know if that's fire code safety, but I'm hoping it is. That one's off the plate, and the count's going to go to 3-1.
Well, you know, if you got a nice, comfortable jacket for Christmas, this is the night to wear it.
This is definitely the night to wear it. And I may have been incorrect on the count. I believe it's still 2-1. Another throw over to first base. And we don't really track the number of throws to first base, but I'd be interested in knowing how many times the Raiders have thrown to first tonight, because the Renegades, I don't think they've thrown at all. Another one way outside. And now the count goes to 3-1. And following Luke Camps is Jordan Mora. And Mora with that triple in the last inning. He's 2 for 3 today. And I don't know if that's someone you really want to meet with 2 runners on. Mora's been dangerous tonight. Once again, 2 for 3 with an RBI, and he will be up next. 3-1 the count to Luke Camps. Camps swings and misses. That one's fouled back to the net, and the count goes full. Camps part of that big crew out of the River League, South Yosemite River League here in Bakersfield. Those schools are Frontier High School, Stockdale, Centennial, Liberty, and Garces. And there are a lot of players from those 5 teams on this squad here this year. Kurt Townsend's done a wonderful job of recruiting locally here in Bakersfield. And that one hits the inside corner. And that's going to do it for the 7th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and a runner left aboard. Heading to the top of the 8th inning, back after this. Back for the top of the 8th inning, Brendan McClure will lead off, followed by Jackson Herron and Buddy Onosko. A big 7th inning for the Raiders. And a bunt foul tipped him back. 3 runs scored in the 7th inning to kind of bring this one closer for the Raiders. McClure, 0 for 3 so far today, walked in the 3rd inning and grounded out to second in the 4th and struck out. And a nice routine grounder for Nick Martin, and 1 away here in the top of the 8th. So Zachary Wargo kind of settling in now. Got a little roughed up in that 7th inning. But it's kind of nice to get the first one away. And now Jackson Herron coming to the plate Jackson 2 for 3. A hit in the third and a hit in the sixth. He did fly out to second, or hit in the fifth rather, flew out to second in the sixth inning. One ball, no strikes, the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and driven down the line. And chasing it down, Luke Shaw out to the warning track. And rounding for third rather. And now another triple for Jackson Heron, and 2 triples for the Raiders tonight. And wow, what a fantastic job of the Raiders in the last couple of innings, really getting the bats going. And now a triple for Jackson Heron, and we're going to head back to the top of the lineup and Buddy Onosko. And Onosko reached first base in the last inning on that error. And again, it was an error charged to the shortstop, Santiago Blanco. But even if it hadn't been an error, I think he probably would have beaten the throw anyway. That one misses inside, and the count's now 1-1. Onosko, in his 5th time up tonight, grounded out to short in the first, grounded out to first in the third. And that's a pass ball, and it's going to score Jackson Heron. And another run across, and now only 1 point difference between the Renegades and the Raiders, as the Renegades are clinging to a 6-5 lead.
You know, and we mentioned just not long ago, you know, that one play behind the plate on that foul ball, how the momentum has just seemed to shift immediately. We didn't want to jinx it, but
absolutely. Now the count's 2 balls, 1 strike to Buddy Onosko. That one's in there a little bit high, and the hat comes off once again off of Zachary Wargo. 3 balls, 1 strike. 1 down here in the top of the 8th inning, and 1 run across. And another high one in there. And Onosko's going to make his way down with his first walk of the evening. And 1 out. And now we got a change in the batting order here. New players come in. Aiden Gomez checking in now for the Raiders. And they started doing this earlier yesterday where they started swapping out players a lot quicker. And a throw down the line. And McDonald's going to track that one, and he's going to throw over to second base, but the throw is off. And Onosko, is going to make his way to second base on an errant throw. And right now, this is not going the way BC wants it to go in the 8th inning. So Ty Nicolay taking a seat in the place of Adrian Gomez. Number 6, his first at bat tonight. Gomez ahead in the count, 1-0. And once again, the hat comes off of Zachary Wargo. And I don't know if that's an issue where somebody has to have a conversation with him about that, because every pitch, it seems, that's a problem. And I don't know if that's something you really want to deal with. As a pitcher, I don't know why you want to do that.
Right, and it came off again.
And it comes off again. And the strike is called, but over on the board it's showing 3-0, so I don't know whether they hit the wrong button or what the count may be.
We had 3-1.
So 3-1, it just hasn't posted yet. That one's going to be low. And he's going to walk the runner down to first base. And just waiting to see if somebody's going to come out of the dugout, and here he comes. Kurt Townsend may have seen enough. So 2 innings pitched by Wargo. And now they're going to go to their bullpen once again and hope that they can get something to kind of stop the bleeding here.
Yeah, and we don't want to make an issue about the hat, but
Yeah.
the hat's an issue.
The hat is an issue, absolutely.
Definitely a distraction for the pitcher. You don't have to pick up your hat every time you throw the ball.
That's correct. So that's going to do it for Zachary Wargo for the evening. He's going to take a seat. And Tony Fabian is going to come in. And you know what I kind of think? We saw this last year. Zachary Wargo last year had the same problem with his hat.
With his hat, yes, we did.
Absolutely. So now Tony Fabian coming into the game for the Renegades in relief. So Fabian's going to get warmed up. Fabian was the closer last night for the Renegades. Managed to hold on and get the win.
I wanted to say I didn't get a chance to make mention of it yesterday, but I really like the Renegades' new uniforms. They're really, really nice-looking uniforms.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Don't say that, man. That's what you say when we're off air.
Yeah, I didn't notice that they got new uniforms. I wasn't paying much attention to that.
Oh, man, you said it twice. You said it again. Stop it.
Hey, we'd like to give a shout-out to our good friend Vance Palm. You and I both work with him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Vance, my mentor, kind of got me into the broadcasting business, and I'd like to thank him. It's a cold night out here, Vance. We wish you were here freezing with us.
Well, he does the games at Cal, but I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're home or away.
So I don't know if he's working tonight or not.
Yeah.
So number 6, Tony Fabian, now checking into the game for the Renegades. So Hertensteiner now coming up to bat, and he got the hit in the last inning. And as we had said, at some point we figured he was going to make the Renegades pay, and that may have come to fruition in that last inning as they had scored 3 runs on us. So Hertensteiner and Fabian both taking their times, getting set. One out here, and a runner is going. The fire down to third base, and it's a good throw. Troy Spainhauer down to Jordan Mora, gets the out. And boy, if at any point did you really need it, and a smart move by the Raiders of taking that chance right out of that break because everybody's kind of seizing up a little bit. But Troy Spainhauer with a fantastic throw down to third base to get the runner, and 2 away now. And that might have saved a little bit of hassle for the Renegades here in the 8th inning. And kind of surprising that Inosko actually got thrown out on that. Because Inosko's pretty quick, and he had already gotten the stolen base down to second. So 3 balls in a row by Tony Fabian, behind in the count. You can afford to walk Hertensteiner because that'll put bases at first and second, and that one's going to be outside, and he's going to do exactly that. And I don't know how intentional that was. Hertensteiner in the 3 spot. And now that's going to bring Joshua Brown, the designated hitter, to the plate. Brown over 4 tonight with a walk. He grounded out to short, flew out to right field, walked in the 5th, and then flew out to center in the 7th inning. Breaking ball high and outside, and the count's 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the delivery. That one's in the dirt. And I don't think Adrian Gomez is going to risk it going down to third base, even on a ball like that. I don't think he's moving. And at this point, there really be no sense in doing that. The throw 90 feet down to third base is a heck of a lot easier throw for Spain Howard to make, as we saw just now. That one's going to just miss off the outside corner, and now the count's 3-0. And once again, Tony Fabian behind 2 hitters in a row at 3-0. On this one, you almost have to be certain that the batter is going to take on the third strike. And not even close on that one. Joshua Brown is going to get walked. And now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And Jaden Onaka, probably someone you don't want to see. Onaka 2 for 4 with an RBI tonight. And coming to the plate. He got a hit in the 4th and a hit in the 7th with that RBI. And now Tony Fabian, I don't know how many strikes he's thrown in the last 2 batters, but not a lot. And that one, hopefully a routine grounder over to second base. And Martin's going to throw him out. And the Renegades come away. Only 1 run across, but they still maintain a 6-5 lead. We'll be back with the bottom of the 8th inning after this. Back for the bottom of the 8th inning, Jordan Mora leading off for the Renegades, and a changing pitch for the Raiders. Sebastian Ajamian into the game now. And the Raiders really using their bullpen to their full extent, and the bullpen's done a pretty good job of shutting down the Renegades, giving up only 2 runs since that first inning. And a foul ball out of play, heading out into the parking lot. Jordan Mora, so far tonight, 2 hits and 1 RBI. One of those hits was a triple. back in the 6th inning. And he managed to be the run that came across in that inning. And I digress. He didn't score in that inning. They were shut down after having 2 runners on. Actually, that's not correct. He did score. I'm sorry. The fly out to left by Santiago Blanco gave the RBI to Blanco and scored Jordan Mora. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that one fouled off to the net. The new pitcher in the game for the Raiders, number 40, Sebastian Najamian. Najamian, 6'4", 195 pounds, out of Oaks Christian. A lot of players on the Oaks Christian High School squad are here playing for Moorpark. So Moorpark's done a pretty good job. And another ball.
And I actually
out
got
into the parking lot.
And I got to watch that one, and it bounced right between the cars. Me and the cameraman, we watched that. So no one got hit.
You and Johnny. That one's off the plate, and now the count is full. And the Renegades would really like to get a little bit of insurance here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the payoff pitch. That one struck on a high rolling bouncer over to third base, thrown out. And I don't know if he was on. No, he's safe. They're saying that Kleinbaker's off the bag. And again, another mistake by the defense. And particularly, they've had a lot of trouble over at first base. So now, I'm trying to see if they're going to charge an error to the first baseman, and I believe that they are. So Mora reaches on an error. And a first pitch is ball. It was low as Spain Howard pulled away at the last minute. So that error will get charged to the first baseman. And try Spain Howard trying to advance the runner with a 1-1 count. He's trying to bunt him forward. Jamian looks over to first base, and Moore just kind of heads back. Not a big lead. Once again, the Renegades have not been getting huge leads over at first base, but the Raiders like to throw that direction, and that one's going to be high, and the count's going to be 2-1. And Spain Howard doing a good job trying to play it if he can. If the ball's not a strike, pull away and let the ball count. And being a catcher, I'm sure he's kind of peering his head a little bit over that plate, trying to get a little bit of a cheat on it. That one swung on and fouled away. And the hit and run was on as Mora was really tracking down towards second base quickly. Moving on the swing. 2-2 the count now. Jamian with the 2-2 pitch. That one misses inside, and now the count's full. Throw over to first. And that one, once again, another pass ball. And Moore is going to make it over to second base, standing up. And in the last 2 days, the Raiders have thrown over to first multiple times, and that may be about the fourth pass ball we've seen, allowing the Renegades to advance. And now you can bet your bottom dollar that Trice Spain Howard is going to be swinging away, and a chance to advance his runner over to third base and get an insurance run for the Renegades here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tony Fabian, the closer for the Renegades, still will be on the bump coming up in the 9th inning. There's a little bit of action going on in the bullpen. They may be swapping him out. I'm not 100% sure yet. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Outside. And Tri Spainhauer is going to make his way down to first base with 2 runners on now and nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Santiago Blanco now coming up. Blanco with a hit in the 5th inning and a fly out to left for an RBI sacrifice in the 6th. That scored Jordan Mora. Mora now at second base and needs to be careful. Nate Franco's cheating over towards second base. Now he's going to find his way back to the gap. And Blanco trying to advance the runners with a bunt. And that one was a little bit outside. I don't know if I would have gone for that. Blanco could have pulled away. It would have been a ball outside. And now the count's 0-1. Blanco showing bunt. That one misses. And the runners both advance, and now the bunt play is off. 1-1 the count to Santiago Blanco. And it just seems like Sebastian Najamian's had one thing after another go wrong here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A pass ball over at first, a walk, and now he's got 2 runners at second and third. And the pitching coach is coming out to have a conversation, and I don't know if they're going to go to the bullpen, and that's going to do it for Jamie, he's going to come out with a 1-1 count. So the new pitcher coming in is going to inherit his problem.
That was, yeah.
So now we're going to figure out who's coming in for Sebastian Najamian, and really not something you want to see. You don't want to see a pitcher get punched out that quickly, obviously, and he's not happy about it. That pass ball over at first base didn't help. And now we're waiting for the signal from the umpire to let us know who's coming in now. We have not been able to read his number just yet.
36.
Is it 36? Thank
36.
you, Julian.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Johnny. Okay, number 36 is Santiago Ramirez, a left-handed pitcher at 5'11", out of Santa Paula High School. He's a freshman. So Ramirez is going to come in and try and shut the Renegades down here. So Santiago Ramirez inherits the problem and trying to make sure that he can get out of this inning unscathed. And we'll find out coming up right after this. So Santiago Ramirez, the freshman, back on the mound now. And the Renegades, nobody out, runners at second and third, and trying to get a couple of insurance runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Santiago Blanco, and he's going to get walked over to first base, and that'll load the bases with nobody out. He had a 1-1 count. I don't know why you want to just let that go. And now probably somebody you really don't want to see, who's definitely due. He's 1 for 4 so far tonight, is Jordan Brito coming to the plate. And Brito has the ability to just put the ball in play. Again, no strikeouts tonight, and he didn't strike out last night. So Brito's slugging percentage is pretty darn good, and he has the ability to put the ball in play. And his flyouts, by the way, have been to the outfield. So he had a flyout to right in the second inning, a flyout to center in the fifth, and another flyout to center in the sixth inning. So if Brito can put one in play, he's definitely going to get a score from Jordan Mora, who's only 90 feet away from taking a 7-5 lead. No balls, one strike to count to Jordan Brito. And that one, breaking ball just in there for a strike, and now it's 0-2. And the one thing that I don't need, Julian Wilson, is somebody to prove me wrong after I've been talking this entire time. That one's going to be in the dirt. But corralled pretty quickly by Hertensteiner. Hertensteiner's done a really good job behind the plate these last 2 days. Not a lot of pass balls, and he's had some pretty difficult pitching. But one of the better catchers that we've seen in the last season and a half that I've been announcing up here. Mora is going to hit that one in the gap because the infield was in. And 2 runs are going to come across, and another one's rounding third. And 2 runs score. Jordan Mora scores and Trice Spainhoward scores. And Santiago Blanco with a heads-up running finds his way over to third base. And Jordan Brito with a single has 2 more RBIs to add to his collection. And now Nick Martin coming to the plate. And Martin has not had a good night at the plate. 3 strikeouts and a ground out to second.
You know, and again, for Moorpark, we had that strategy where they decided to go ahead and load the bases. And so you wonder.
First pitch in there is high, and now the count's 1 ball, no strikes. Still nobody out. And a bunt, and that was just going to run foul. Hartensteiner getting down the line and picking it up in foul territory. But Martin, boy, what a speedy guy. By the time the Hertensteiner had gotten to the ball, Martin was almost at first base. So even if it was in play and he'd have picked it up, I think he might have beat the throw. Now it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Nick Martin. Nick Martin last night had 2 hits and a double. So not the night tonight that he had last night. And that one's going to be a bunt back to first base. And that one's going to get past the first baseman as it's in the dirt. And Blanco sliding into home plate is going to score. And the Renegades with another run in the inning. And the lead is now 9-5. So Landon McDonald now coming to the plate, and you got to wonder, are they going to walk him? Because there's still nobody out. And 3 runs have come across in the inning for the Renegades. And they are going to face him. And again, as I said, Nick Martin has the ability to get that stolen base. A very speedy second baseman himself. Him and Jordan Brito, 2 of the quickest guys on this Renegade squad. Pitch is high. I don't know if that was an intentional pitch out or not. And it may have been trying to catch the Renegades off as Hertensteiner was pretty much out of his crouch pretty quickly. And Ramirez is going to have to hurry up because he's down to 4 seconds on the pitch clock.
He's off.
And then he steps off the rubber and it resets.
And
I don't know how fair that is. I don't think that you can do that, but they're calling a timeout. And I'm not quite sure if they're having an issue with some of the equipment as Hertensteiner runs into the dugout, but nobody's coming out. So I think that there might be something wrong with maybe his microphone in his helmet. And we're going to check. I don't know if that's a different.
That's a different catcher, looks
That's
like.
a different catcher.
24.
Number 24. So they're replacing the catcher now. Hertensteiner's going to come out. And he's going to be replaced by number 24, Noah Tam. Tam out of Ventura High School, the 5'10 freshman. Not sure why the change all of a sudden.
Well, it looks like
But
we're
now they're also going to pull the pitcher, so he's coming out now. So Tam comes in the place of Hertensteiner. And, boy, some of these changes are a little complicated. They make a lot of changes on this squad. It's hard for us to kind of keep up sometimes. And I don't know if – well, we're going to find out who the pitching change is. So we'll wait to find out that information. And then as soon as we have that, we can kind of figure out what's going on. With another pitching change. It'll be the 6th pitcher of the game.
Looks like we have number 20.
Number 20 is Callan Hertensteiner. That's why he's running off. They put him into pitch. So number 20, Callan Hertensteiner, they do have him as a pitcher listed on the roster here. And again, the 6'2", 220-pound right-hander. A great job catching tonight. Now being asked to go out and try to save the rest of the 8th inning for the Raiders. And I don't know how they figure that in to the batting order because obviously he's still in the game. So we'll have to find out when it comes to that where they're going to keep him. And we haven't seen Callan Hertensteiner pitch in the game yesterday. He caught the entire game. So we'll find out more about that coming up here in a second. We're going to break away for a quick interruption, and then we'll be back in just a few minutes. So Landon McDonald is going to face Callan Hertensteiner. Hertensteiner inherits him at 1 ball, no strikes. Hertensteiner's been behind the plate 2 days in a row now, and now he's going to step to the mound and try to shut the Renegades down with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Runners at the corners for BC. And quickly taken off on a brand new catcher. And is scoring the run, Jordan Brito down third base line as Nick Martin makes his way over to second base and a pass ball. And another run for the Renegades, and now they lead 10-5. They didn't mark that up on the board. It's 2 balls, yes. No strikes. Yes. As long as we have it right, Julian, I think we're okay, correct? That one's outside, and now the count's 3-0. And sometimes they have a little bit of trouble with the controller, I believe, and it doesn't register quite when they're ready for it, so they might hit the button and then it won't go.
And that's the truth, yes.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. That one's going to be inside, and McDonald's going to make his way down to first base. And now runners at first and second, and nobody out. And coming to the plate Number 5, Brady Baird, struck up his last time out. Landon McDonald has walked 4 times in this game. One of them was intentional. Pitch inside, 1-0 the count. Brady Baird reached on an error in the first inning, grounded out to short in the third, walked in the fifth, and struck out in the seventh. That one's going to bloop into left field. Right underneath that, Brendan McClure, and one away. Runners don't advance, still at first and second. And a little bit of a bright light for Hertensteiner. Luke Shaw, now the left fielder, up to bat. Had an RBI on a fielder's choice in the first inning. Then he grounded out to first, got hit by a pitcher, hit by the pitcher in the fifth inning, and then got a hit in the seventh. Nick Martin out at second base. They're trying to hold him close. The shortstop playing him. Ball fouled off and out of play. And that one hits Haley with the car driving by. And the car kind of hit his brakes for a second there. He must have seen it.
It's a little bit smaller than a cat.
No balls, 1 strike the count, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Renegades leading 10-5. Pitch hits the inside corner, now the count's 1-1. And Hertensteiner is taking his time, and actually he's got his wrists there. They're looking at what pitch they want him to throw as he looks into the dugout for the sign. And he's down to 4 seconds. And he's run out of time on that clock. Steps off and throws to second base. So flirting a little bit with that pitch clock. Pitch outside. I think they're still looking for Nick Martin to try to make his way over to third base. And that was a pitch out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss, and down goes Luke Shaw. 10 strikeouts tonight for the Raiders. Luke Camps now, who came in for Liam O'Reilly in the 7th inning. He struck out at that plate appearance. Both runners are going to advance, and nobody was covering second base on that. The shortstop, Ty Nicolay, didn't bother finding his way over. I think that he just thought that the wild pitch wasn't going to result in anything. But it didn't really matter because Landon McDonald was going to make his way there anyway, but still the throw could have been made, but nobody was covering the bag. Hertensteiner with the pitch inside. Now the count's 2 balls, no strikes. And Landon McDonald's pretty speedy as well. If this one gets poked into the outfield, he'll round third and make his way all the way to home plate. Camps fouls that one back, and now the count's 2 balls, 1 strike. Hertensteiner with the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball hits the outside corner, and the count's 2-2. Julian Wilson clearing his throat here in the cold of the night.
Yes, and I apologize.
It's
for that.
all right.
I'll tell you what, man.
I like that hat. It goes with your hair.
Okay, well, I mean, now we need to show a picture of my hair.
We do. We
it's
need
like,
to show a picture.
It's like, yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we got to get some graphics up. Take a photo and put that one up for the next broadcast that we do. We have not gotten the full schedule for the Renegade baseball season yet, so I can't really tell people when we'll be home next. I can tell them that the basketball program will be playing on Wednesday night. And Hertensteiner is going to find his way out of the jam. But the damage is done. Renegades get 4 runs across. And now the score is 10-5 as we head to the top of the 9th inning. You're watching Renegade Baseball in our 2026 season. We'll be back in a moment. Back for the top of the 9th inning. Renegades leading 10-5. And Tony Fabian back for another inning. He'll face Jadrian Klein Baker, Nate Franco, and Brendan McClure here in the top of the 9th inning. That pitch either hit the outside corner or it was a check swing. I'm not 100% sure, and the count's 1-1. It didn't look like he went around that far, so I'm guessing it hit the outside corner. Fabian settling in here now. That one fouled off and back. And now the count's 1-2, and Fabian's ahead. As I said before, we don't really know the rest of the baseball schedule yet because I haven't fully looked through it. We'll be doing a bunch of broadcasting this season of the baseball team up here at Bakersfield College, as well as softball. For information on what games are happening here at Bakersfield College, just go to our GoGades site. It's www.gogades.com. And check out the schedules there of all of our spring sports as well as other sports like track, beach volleyball, and a few other things. That one driven into left field and a base hit for Jadrian Klein Baker here in the top of the 9th inning. Nate Franco, the second baseman, now coming up to the plate. He flew out to left in the 3rd inning, walked in the 4th, grounded out to second in the 6th, and grounded out to short in the 7th. And that one's going to be blooped over into left field. And chasing it down and catching the ball. I don't know if he caught it or not. Throw it back to first base because I look like he caught it. And if he does, waiting for them to call the out. And they do call the out. It's a double play. And wow, what a job out there in left field by Luke Shaw. Tracked that ball all the way down and caught it. And Nate Franco, kind of surprised, but Jordan Klein Baker standing on second, even more surprised.
That little bit of confusion, Tom,
So
kind of
fantastic.
went into our benefit.
Yeah, so fantastic job out there in left field by Luke Shaw. And actually, the outfielders for the Renegade squad have done a pretty good job in the last 2 nights. And Tony Fabian down to his last out. And a chance to get the save here. And that one fouled back as Brendan McClure is up to bat. McClure 0 for 4 tonight. Grounded out to second twice. Two outs here in the top of the ninth. Renegades looking to hang on with the 10-5 lead. A lot of offensive production in the last 2 nights. 12 runs last night, 10 runs tonight. 0-2 the count. Fabian looking in. He gets the sign. And the delivery. That one's off the plate. Just misses outside. Now the count's 1-2. That one inside hits the plate, and he gets called out on strikes. That's going to do it. Bakersfield College closes out 1-2-3 in the top of the ninth inning and takes the game 10-5. We'll be back with the remaining thoughts after this.
The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades, renegades. We ball so hard, you already know. It's the Renegades, we put on a show. Going so hard, no we can't stop. Ball till we fall all the way to the top. Game time, baby let's go. You don't want it with us, you don't want it with us. Renegades, no time to waste. We bring the heat and drop the flames. The game's ours to take. Renegades. Welcome to the place where it all goes down. We came to make it rain, this is our time.
Final score of tonight's game, Bakersfield College 10, Moorpark Raiders 5. Renegades get 2 wins from the Raiders in the last 2 nights. They won last night 12-10. The Renegades with 10 runs, 7 hits and 4 errors. Conversely, the Raiders 5 runs, 8 hits and 4 errors. But boy, really, the production for Bakersfield College tonight, just a fantastic job of really their pitching did kind of what they needed to do down the stretch. And that's really what matters. Tony Fabian coming in and getting the save and a fantastic night of Renegade baseball. Hey, coming up on Wednesday, everybody, we have Renegade basketball. The basketball program for the men's team will play at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, followed by the women's team at 7. And for any other information on our Bakersfield College basketball or any of our spring sports, including baseball, simply go to GoGades.com and you can look up the schedule there. It is free to get in for every game this season. So really, we'd love to have the fans come on out here and check out the game. Or once again, you can always pretty much check out whatever we've got going on here. So once again,
And Tom, be sure to, for baseball, their next game is at 2 p.m. at Sequoias, and then they play again here Thursday, January 29th, against Sequoias.
Okay, thank you. That is Gio General Lau. Thank you, Gio, for the information. Once again, for everybody here at Bakersfield College, this has been Tom Myers. We'll see you next time, everybody. Be sure to check in on our website, GoGades.com, for more information. We'll see you next time.
Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across all our sports, visit GoGades.com. Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across all our sports, visit GoGades.com. Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across all our sports, visit GoGades.com. Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across all our sports, visit GoGades.com. Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across all our sports, visit GoGades.com. Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across all our sports, visit GoGades.com. Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across